Swahili Nation fam. Hope you had a great week. This is Recap. I am Wangel Zalalem. Let's do this. First story comes from South Africa. South Africa accuses Ukraine envoy of being undiplomatic. South Africa has accused the Ukrainian ambassador to the country of using undiplomatic ways to seek an audience with President Cyril Ramaphosa over the ongoing Russian invasion of the Eastern Europe country. The reason why the South African authorities are calling out the Ukraine envoy is because of the way they handled the situation. So the ambassador of Ukraine in South Africa wanted to talk to the president of South Africa, who is Cyril Ramaphosa. And after trying to talk to him for a little while, she got tired of According to her, she got tired of waiting, so she tweeted to the whole world, she told the world that basically the South African government is not cooperating with Ukraine with the current situation between Russia and Ukraine. And so the authorities came out real quick from South Africa and they started, blasting this ambassador because they say, you've been meeting the authorities that are available and the ones that you can talk to. Not every ambassador is able to talk to or communicate with the leader of that country. It's unusual because there's a level of reach that you're able to, get as an ambassador. So as an ambassador, she was able to meet the ministers that she can, and she did talk to them, but apparently she only wanted to talk to the president, which she was not able to. So she got mad and blasted the South African government basically. And I find a lot of issues with this, but we're not going to cover everything. But the one thing I want to focus on is the entitlement. I get it. As the ambassador of Ukraine, you would want to be heard. You would want, to get the support that you might need for your country because your country is going through war right now. But to demand that you talk to the president when it's out of your reach, it's not like it's a must that you get to do that. That's a privilege some people might have. It's weird to me that she expected to be given everything, even if it's not going to be the norm. She said, we want to talk to the president of South Africa, and that's exactly what you need to give us. That entitlement rubs me the wrong way. Mali's military arrests 3 European nationals for terrorism. Mali's military leadership has announced the arrest of 3 terrorists of European origin during an anti-jihadist operation in the central part of the country. In a statement, the Malian General Staff said, quote, military detachment was carried out and there was an arrest on April 10, 2022 of 5 suspects, including 3 European nationals. It's really not looking good for, European countries right now, especially France. They didn't really specifically tell us from those that were arrested, the 3 European nationals, they didn't tell us exactly if it's from France or, Sweden, whatever it may be. They didn't clarify, but with everything that is going on right now and Malians saying no more to interference in their politics and France meddling in their situation and them kicking out France, quite literally. They kicked out the French military troops. They said that they no longer want to be associated with the French language and they don't want to, continue using it as their national language. Not only that, they also said that they will stop using franc that is associated with France. So considering all this, why are you guys still there? Like, how are you being caught involved in somebody's internal affairs? Mali right now has made it very clear they don't want any interference from the European Union. It's very clear. So for them to arrest 5 people, and from those 5 people, 3 of them being European nationals, it does not look good. And I fear that it's only going to escalate the current situation in the Sahel region. Russian embassy overwhelmed by Ethiopian volunteer fighters. The Russian embassy in Addis Ababa has been flooded with requests from hundreds of Ethiopians who want to join Russian troops fighting in Ukraine. Officials admitted on Monday that a large number of Ethiopians had converged at the embassy seeking to join the war, though they denied that the group wanted to be recruited as soldiers. As an Ethiopian that knows what is going on in Ethiopia currently and everything that is transpiring, I don't understand. Okay, I won't say I don't understand. I understand why these young men want to go ahead and support Russia. We all know the history between Russia and Ethiopia. We all know, even in just recent times, just last year, Russia was helping out Ethiopia when it felt like the whole world turned their backs on Ethiopia. So I understand where that feeling comes from, the feeling of like, you're our brothers, we want to help you out the same way you stood up for us. I get it, I really do, but I want us to think about this a bit more. Like, we can support without actually offering our lives, without becoming mercenaries. I think there's a difference between the two. I don't want anyone from Ethiopia to travel all the way to Russia and die in the battlefield. Like, right now is the time to fight for your own country if you're willing. I'm not saying people should go ahead and fight and all that stuff. None of that. I'm saying if you are willing to fight for Russia and lose your life, I hope that you will be willing to do the same for your country, right? Like, I don't know if I'm missing out on something here, because there's an actual war going on in Ethiopia, and this young man, did they actually offer their service to their own country before they offered to Russia? That's the biggest question I have for them. Kenya deports French national over economic sabotage. Authorities in Kenya have ordered the deportation of a French national, Jean-Christian, over what they refer to as economic sabotage. Documents cited by iGambia revealed that the said individual, who is the managing director of an oil company called Rubis Energy, has been creating artificial shortage of oil through hoarding to escalate economic crisis in the country. This is a huge move for Kenya. They didn't just deport a person that is working in a private company. This is a French national that was the director of Rubis Energies, and that is an oil company. And I can tell you this much: there was a huge shortage of oil, gas, petroleum in Kenya for about 2 weeks. People were struggling, people were suffering, and now the government is saying that this person, this French national, was working on sabotaging the economy of Kenya by creating a fake shortage. Can you imagine? That's not a simple crime. That's a crime against a country. And him being French raises a lot of questions, like, was he working alone? Which I don't think he's working alone. So who was he working for, and who was he working with to sabotage the economy of Kenya? This is something that needs to be investigated thoroughly. The last report comes from Nigeria. I love what they're trying to do for the youth. Let me show you this clip. We'll come back and discuss.
In Lagos, the commercial center of Africa's most populous nation, young people are developing interest in animation, though there is scarcity of formal training opportunities in the animation space. Nigerian animators are carving a niche for themselves by creating local production and short films, with creative directors and animators leading the way. Adebimpe Adebambo is one of them. This creative director is leading the campaign which targets the youths and younger generation to take up animation.
What I and some of my colleagues have done is that we have started going to schools to start animation clubs, so that at least in that way, informally, like how, okay, maybe some children, extracurricular, they want to learn photography, they want to learn makeup, they want to learn this. Animation is a choice. At least we are starting from there.
As you saw, young people are developing interest for animation, and that is wonderful, because as we all know, Nigeria has one of the most brilliant minds. Some are being used for scamming, some are just wasting their talent by stealing from people, and that's really sad. Whenever I hear about like a hush puppy who is known to steal millions and millions of dollars, who is under FBI custody right now, all I see is the potential, like what he could have done with that mind, right? So now for people like this woman coming up with this initiative to go ahead and give them the extra curriculum for the kids to work on something that actually is going to develop them, develop their community, as well as change their lives for the better. They're not going to be wasting their talent. They're actually going to use it for good and also make a good life for themselves. So I loved seeing this, and I hope this gets pushed to the rest of African countries. I would love to see that. Anyway, Swahili Nation family, let us know down below what your thoughts are about the topics that we have covered. We would love to hear from you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.